Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94, here back with another reaction video. Today we finna react to SummerSlam '09 is low-key a classic. If I recall, SummerSlam of '09, that would be when they brought Shawn Michaels back to get DX back together. So they got Shawn Michaels back to form DX. Trying to think what else happened around this time frame. I can't think of anything, so we're just gonna get on to the video. Fuck DraftKings.
When WrestleMania 25 went off the air, what should have been an absolute classic mania ended as a disappointment. After months of amazing storytelling, after back-to-back classic pay-per-views, after Randy Orton became the biggest star in the company, it seemed like as soon as WrestleMania 25 started, the company just lost its damn mind. Going into Mania that year, the company had a direction. It made sense, it was clear, and it was fun to watch. Coming out of WrestleMania 25, nothing made sense anymore. After Mania, we had some amazing pay-per-views, and then we had some pay-per-views that literally had no reason to take place. On one hand, you had Jeff Hardy, Edge, and Punk tearing it up. On the other hand, you had Batista and Randy Orton having a 7-minute cage match on a pay-per-view. What? Chris Jericho and Rey Mysterio were wrestling like their lives depended on it, while Cena was feuding with The Big Show and The Miz in 2009. What the f? And then there was the generational iconic feud that was Orton versus Triple H, which eventually became so cold that the finale took place at the Bash. It was just a weird time, and to put a cherry on top, the company had absolutely zero idea on how to get viewers to tune into Raw at this time. So what did they decide to do? They started to have guest hosts every single week. Yes.
And this ruined everything. This was a worse decision. This was probably the worst decision WWE ever made, bro. I'm so happy this shit ended as quickly as it started, bro. That's all I'm happy for. That's the only thing I'm happy for. This shit ended as quickly as it started, bro. I think this shit went to like damn near like mid. I think this went all the way up to like, I want to say Royal Rumble of 2010, and then they just stopped completely to focus on WrestleMania, and they never brought it back.
Because nothing makes you want to watch wrestling more than a B-tier celebrity in the main event. So as you can see, the company had no idea what it was doing, and just when things couldn't get any worse, they found out that the most popular wrestler on the roster was leaving the company. But with everything going on, with the product getting weirder and weirder, ratings going down by the week, the WWE decided to lock in for the second biggest show of the year. After 2 average pay-per-views that did disappointing buy rates, they needed SummerSlam to be a banger, and well, they definitely did everything they could to make that happen. All things considered, the WWE put together a very intriguing SummerSlam on paper. There was hype, there was excitement, and it finally felt like the magic was back, at least for one night. And in the middle of one of the most weird years in WWE history, they low-key dropped a pretty classic SummerSlam. Let's get into it. The show begins live from Los Angeles, the Staples Center, fresh off of Kobe winning his 4th ring. The crowd was hot, the show was off to the races, and the opening match was Rey Mysterio versus Dolph Ziggler. In 2009, Rey Mysterio was off the shits. I don't know what he was on, but after years of injuries and kind of being forgotten in '07 and '08, Rey in 2009 was like hitting his 3rd prime for a little bit. Rey in '09 was putting on great matches every week, and that feud with Jericho, yeah, the streets will never forget. And on this night against Dolph Ziggler, it was no different. Rey and Dolph have a great match to open up SummerSlam. The crowd was hot, Rey was out here moving like prime Tyreek Hill, which, listen, makes sense. They both are deadbeat fathers. But nah, this was the perfect opener. Ziggler was clotheslining the hell out of Rey, legit bullying him, destroying him, and Rey was just using his speed. He was all over the place, reversing everything. We even had Ziggler delivering the Rollins buckle bomb 6 years before it became Rollins' thing, and this was just the Rey Mysterio show. One last hurrah from his awesome 2009 run before he got popped literally a few days after the show. Fantastic way to open the show. The next match was MVP versus Jack Swagger. Yeah. Okay, so earlier when I said this was a classic SummerSlam, I meant it, okay? I really did. But am I saying it's the best SummerSlam ever? Not at all. Not at all. This show has a few questionable pay-per-view matches, even for 2009 standards, I can't lie. MVP versus Jack Swagger, Jericho and Big Show versus Crime Time, which, hey, it wasn't bad.
RP
6 minutes of the Great Khali versus Kane. What the hell was wrong with these idiots putting this on pay-per-view? Nah, yo, listen. Khali versus Kane is one of the worst matches I have ever seen. This is worse than Batista versus Khali from 07. Khali at this point can't even move, bro. He looks like he's about to decompose any second. You got Jim Ross on commentary. Poor guy, okay? He's trying his best to thug it out and make it seem a little more epic. There's nothing Jim Ross can do. Bro, this match is 6 minutes long. Why? First of all you in this match is kick, punch, okay? And then it ends with a DDT. Khali can't even get up for the choke slam, so we have to end it with the DDT. Why is this on the show? So yeah, that's what stops us from being the greatest SummerSlam of all time. So I get it. You're probably saying, how, Pav, how could this be a classic? Well, let's just say they locked in because it was then time for the return of DX. I'm not gonna lie to you, I am not a fan of 2009 DX. This PG era version with Hornswoggle wasn't exactly for me. Nonetheless though, I was still hyped for their first match back. I knew the entrance was going to be fire. I knew they were going to go in there, hit their finishers, their greatest hits, and it was going to be a great little squash match. I mean, going into this, that's what everyone thought this was going to be. I mean, realistically, what the hell was 2009 no knee pads wearing Cody Rhodes and has the charisma of a pet rock Ted DiBiase Jr. possibly going to do against DX? For all intents and purposes, this was just going to be an aura farming situation for DX, and I think most people were still cool with that. And listen, no one does aura farming better than Triple H with an entrance budget on pay-per-view, but even I wasn't prepared for this shit. DX for this match has the longest entrance you will ever see in wrestling history, and you know what, I can't even hate on it because the crowd was going nuts for this. So first the arena turns black, okay, and everyone puts their DX glow sticks up in the air, and next thing you know, it sounds like Afghanistan in 2003. Gunshots are being sprayed, you hear a chopper roaming, you think you're under attack, and I shit you not, more fireworks, more fireworks than the 4th of July. You would think God was returning from like heaven or something with the amount of shit that was going down here. And then yo, they have 30 Navy SEALs pull up like it's SOCOM 3 on the PS2 and they just start blasting. Pew, 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 pew. It sounded like a Waka Flocka song from 2009. Fireworks, gunshots. This shit looked like a Michael Bay Transformers movie. The Navy SEALs spray the block for absolutely no reason, they run away, and then DX, ladies and gentlemen, DX pulls up in a tank. The stage literally rips apart like a universe portal is being opened, and DX pulls up. 5 stars. This show is a classic because of this entrance alone. Shawn Michaels and Triple H on a tank. The stage is rifting apart, and there's just pyro everywhere. Pew, pew, pew. An all-time entrance. There is a reason why this entrance has 15 million views on YouTube, and this is definitely one of the wildest and definitely most expensive entrants the company has ever done. And this was at a SummerSlam, not even a WrestleMania. So they have this elaborate entrance for all the millions watching at home, get ready to blah blah, all that shit, right? And then the best part is, the Legacy had to come out to their default NPC ass entrance like nothing happened. It's a new day, it's a new generation. All right,
that's crazy.
Just get in the ring, put the fries in the bag, bro. So here we were. DX had a 10-minute entrance, Legacy was in the ring, and all signs pointed to Legacy getting absolutely destroyed. Especially after that entrance, it's kind of like, well, if they went that hard with the entrance, it was probably to make up for how short the match is gonna be, right? This was definitely gonna be a squash match.
No.
To everyone's surprise, little did we know that no knee pad Cody Rhodes was like that, but also little did we know that Ted DiBiase Jr. was one day going to be Mississippi's Most Wanted. Little did we know these two teams were going to tear the house down. DX and Legacy put on
this was a great match.
Cody and Ted literally had their legacies on the line here.
Yeah, I remember this. This was a great match. I was shocked. This is what made me start liking Cody Rhodes a lot more. I started looking at Cody Rhodes a little different after this match. I was like, hold on. Brother Cody Rhodes, he got something here. Hold on. We got something here with Cody Rhodes. WWE, you might want to look into this. I was like, I see why y'all put him with Randy Orton. They gonna make him the next best thing. And you thought that's what it was gonna be after the dashing Cody Rhodes thing. But man, they dropped the ball after that shit. God damn. Well, they made up for it now, but his character is kind of stale. It's time for a heel turn.
And they delivered, they saved them. These two rascals played the role of douchebag heels perfectly, slapping Shawn Michaels, spending like 2 minutes just abusing Triple H on the floor, ruining HBK's kip up. How could you do that, man? It's like the most satisfying thing in wrestling. Why would you do this? Low blows when the ref wasn't looking. I am serious. Legacy's legacy was on the line, and they delivered. And HBK, listen, he was what, 6 months away from retiring, 44 years old. Man, we are so lucky to have grown up in a time where we got to watch HBK wrestle as a full-time wrestler.
Facts.
We are truly blessed for that.
Facts.
HBK was in there just doing his thing, flying everywhere, diving, selling, you name it. Cody Rhodes at one point pulled out a diving elbow so sexy, I thought it was Kairi Sane for a second. Homie had hops back in the day, who knew? But yeah, DX made Cody and Ted look like all-stars, and to this day, I wonder, when Ted DiBiase got arrested by the feds, right? When he had the choppers over his house in real life, did he get PTSD of DX's entrance from this night? But nah, this match was awesome, better than anyone ever thought it would be, and it holds up so well to this day. I'm telling you, Cody and HBK were in there working like it was the WrestleMania main event. They had so much chemistry. When they were in the ring together, it was perfect. But yo, you know what else was perfect? The ending to this match. So after 18 minutes of great action, after a solid great tag team match, Cody hits HBK with the crossroads. Shawn is down on the floor, Cody goes for the cover, Triple H saves the day. He then hits Cody with the pedigree and he's out. HBK slowly gets up, then Ted DiBiase comes in and hits him with the Dream Street. Now he's out. They are the two legal men, they're both out on the floor, they're out like lights, right? Triple H goes full gorilla mode and just attacks Ted DiBiase, throws him out of the ring, and they go at it. The two legal men are in the ring, the referee is counting, the crowd is standing up, and they both slowly crawl and get up, and they use each other to balance and leverage. They're slowly getting up. It's been 19 minutes of a grueling match, of a great match, and what happens? What happens? Boom! Sweet chin music, HBK out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3, HBK gets the win. Yo, honestly, just what a match. 4 stars. This is 4 stars. Was it basic? Hell yeah, this is a very basic tag team match, but I don't care. This match had no reason to be this good. Like I said, with that entrance and a 10-minute squash match, everyone in the crowd would have been satisfied. That's what most of us expected, but they went crazy. Yeah, I love this match. From the super extra entrance to Legacy doing their thing to HBK returning and showing out, it just blew every expectation back in 2009, and even to this day, it is a great watch. Even as someone who was not a fan of PGDX in 2009, this was a fun match, and the best part was, this ended up being a very solid feud because they had 2 matches after this. DX really put over Legacy on this night, and especially in their second match. Great match, 4 stars, absolute fire. Go back and watch this. It was then time for John Cena versus Randy Orton for the WWE title, and this match is interesting to say the least. Back in 2007, these two closed out SummerSlam and had an awesome match. It was their first ever one-on-one pay-per-view match, and the 2 stars who everyone assumed would always be rivals of their generation definitely didn't disappoint in their first encounter. Fast forward 2 years later, it was time to run it back. But now Randy was the champion, and this was his year. 2009 was the year of Randy Orton, and Cena was the challenger. But the problem is, this time, it didn't really feel like an epic showdown. Instead, it was just a match thrown together for SummerSlam. Cena won a beat the clock challenge, Orton was champion, bada boom, bada bing, there you go, one-on-one at SummerSlam, and here we were. There was barely any build for this match, so going into it, a lot of fans were already like, shouldn't this feel more epic? I mean, it's Randy Orton versus Cena at SummerSlam 2, like, shouldn't this be a bigger deal? But for some reason, something felt missing. Even as a child, something felt missing. But either way, I'm not gonna lie, little me was still excited. So when these two were in the ring, once they had their entrances and the crowd was hot and amped and everything, I was amped too, because despite the build, it was still Randy Orton versus Cena in 2009. But guys, you know what? Let's just address the elephant in the room. Most people hate this match. People actually despise this match. This match is considered by many to be absolute dog shit. And honestly, the funny part is, when I first watched it as a kid, I was left so disappointed that I wanted a refund for the pay-per-view. 10-year-old me hated this match, and the world did. Everyone did. Dave Meltzer gave this match 2 stars. Every review you find of this show to this day, everyone hates this match. Everyone gives it 2 stars. This match has a 4.6 on Cage Match, which that is horrible. Damn. I saw one review for this match that just straight up called it terrible television. This match is hated, and honestly, I get it. I totally understand it because I hated this match too. When people spend $40 on pay-per-view and you're telling them you're gonna get Cena vs. Orton, they expect a banger. They expect a great wrestling match, especially back in this era. What they gave us was straight buffoonery. But I'm here to say, in 2025, once you get past the fact that, this is not gonna be a classic banger wrestling classic, and you just kind of turn your brain off, yo, this match is awesome because this match is absolutely hilarious. So for the first 13 minutes, this is the most average, most typical John Cena versus Randy Orton match you can possibly imagine. Literally copy and paste of every single match I've ever had. Same formula. Randy's all oily and slow and methodical and taking his time. It's a match you've seen 120 plus times. And the crowd's still into it. You know, they're like, this is pretty cool. It's basic as hell. It is what it is. But 13 minutes into this match, this guy right here, this beautiful man, this terrorist, good old Osama bin Laden, begins to pull out some of the funniest shenanigans we have ever seen. So Bald Osama, 13 minutes into the match, realizes that, you know, he can't be Captain America over here. He's done his best. He tried, you know, he tried so hard, got so far. In the end, it doesn't even matter. He goes back and pulls the same thing that he did in No Way Out 2008. He gets clapped by a move by Cena. He just gets up, decides to hit the referee and runs away and gets himself disqualified so he can retain the title. The top demon in the company finds a way to survive and remain champion by getting himself disqualified. But remember that old man that Randy tormented earlier in the year, leading up to WrestleMania? Yeah, he still hates him. And as Randy is leaving, thinking he pulled some next masterclass, Lillian announces that Vince McMahon has ordered for the match to be restarted. And now, if Randy Orton gets disqualified, he loses the title. Randy looks like he just found out that another plane has hit the towers. Poor guy starts having a panic attack. He literally looks like he's having the worst trip of his life. He looks like he's about to cry. The referee literally takes the belt from him outside of the ring. But you know what? It's fine. It's Randy Orton. He's locked in. He goes back into the ring. He beats Cena's ass some more. He does his best, but it doesn't matter. Cena kicks out every single time. So what does he do? This genius, this Einstein goes outside the ring, grabs the title, and gets himself counted out. I mean, hey, listen, they didn't say anything about count outs, so he thinks he finessed the system again. Nope. According to Vince McMahon, this match will be restarted once again, and now if Randy gets counted out once again, he will lose the title. So the match gets restarted for the second time. Randy walks back into the ring. No, he runs in there, and against all odds, somehow, some way, like some Maradona 1986 World Cup type beat, he uses the ropes as leverage and beats Cena 1, 2, 3. He gets the pinfall, and he celebrates genuinely like he has just won the World Cup. He's so happy, he's jumping for joy. Cena's depressed, he literally lost. I don't know, it seems like a skill issue, Cena. But no, this match just keeps on giving. They restart the match again. Yo, this is so stupid. It is so cracked out. It's amazing. Just so much buffoonery. People wanted a wrestling match. You know, they paid $40 for a wrestling classic. They thought this was going to be SummerSlam 07 part 2. Nah, buddy. We're getting Tom and Jerry up in here. A referee slides into the ring, tells the original ref what happened and how Randy used the ropes to get leverage and how he cheated, and the bell rings again. Cena this time gets him into an STF. This is what, the third time the match is restarted, and at this point, like, he has to tap, right? Like, there's no way they're doing all these restarts. Finally, he's gonna get his comeuppance. He's gonna tap. It's over. No, why would we do that? Ted DiBiase Jr.'s brother pulls up and attacks the ref. What the fuck? How do you even think of this shit, bro? Ted DiBiase Jr.'s brother interferes, attacks the referee. Listen, they got 2 stars for this. 2 stars for this. The creativity alone makes this a 4-star match. Ted DiBiase Jr.'s brother of all people attacks the ref just so the match can restart for the 4th time. How do you even think of this? The match restarts again. Randy finally hits him with 2 of the most scummiest RKOs you could possibly imagine, and after 20 minutes, after 8 minutes of just total buffoonery, he finally gets the win. Now, listen, this is hilarious. 2 stars, my ass. This is amazing. I'm telling you, this is one of the funniest matches I've ever seen, and the funniest matches you will ever see. From all this stuff going down, to Randy's facial expressions, to Ted DiBiase Jr.'s brother of all people, it is hilarious. Randy stays champion. Even the referee's raising his hand. It's like, what the hell was this? And listen, to me, what makes this even more funny is that in kayfabe, Randy had Ted's brother on deck just in case, ready to interfere if needed, right? What if the RKOs didn't beat Cena? What was his next plan? Was he just gonna have a nuke dropped into the arena or something at that point? Cena came out of this match looking like such a dumbass. How does the match restart 4 times and you still can't win the match? And what makes it even funnier is, after all the shenanigans, when Randy does hit the RKO, the crowd literally cheers. They're happy Randy won. 2009, bald Randy Orton finessing the system. I hated this back in 09. I hated it for the past 16 years, but now that I actually rewatched it, 4 stars, classic, banger, amazing, iconic, whatever you want to call it. This is real wrestling, fellas. This is real wrestling. I'm serious. What a match. What an angle. Amazing storytelling. Randy Orton getting the match restarted 4 times. Coming clutch. 4 stars. Easily 4 stars. I told you this show's a classic. But I'm serious. Jokes aside, I understand this is not a good wrestling match, but if you can just turn your brain off a little, this is actually amazing. And best of all, that wasn't even the main event. Because it was then time for
Oh man, Jeff Hardy. This was such a good match. They just had to give it to Punk. And this is sadly when we all found out that Jeff Hardy was leaving.
the real main event, the bittersweet main event, Jeff Hardy versus CM Punk TLC match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Jeff Hardy's last true singles classic in his WWE career, his last pay-per-view match of his legendary run from 06 to 09, and what a way to go out. TLC, Los Angeles, SummerSlam against CM Punk in 2009's feud of the year. This match is so bittersweet because at the time, I didn't think Jeff was actually losing this. I didn't think Jeff was really leaving, but despite Jeff leaving, which we've covered many times, when it comes to just this match alone, this match, the vibes, this is an all-time classic. CM Punk and Jeff Hardy put their bodies on the line and close out SummerSlam like true demons. I gotta say, this has to be the best one-on-one TLC match ever, right? Like, this has to be it. Jeff came out with so much aura, the face paint, he looked so deadly, the crowd was so alive, and they just killed each other for 20 plus minutes. After months of build, after all the trash talk, these two being total polar opposites from each other, they just went in there and they just destroyed each other. There were like 5 times in this match where I'm like, alright, yep, Jeff is done, he's cooked, he's finished, he's not getting up. It was like, oh, Jeff, you're leaving us? Yeah, do you mind just dying on pay-per-view for us? Please and thank you before you leave. They were throwing ladders at each other, chair shots that you could hear in the nosebleeds, tables being broken, by God. And I still remember to this day when it was such a simple spot. We've seen it since and before, but for some reason this match, it just looks so damn painful. When they did the superplex onto the ladder, I cringe to this day when I see it. For a match that took place in the PG era without blood, this was still so violent, so physical. I just adore this match. And the thing is, everyone
this was a good match.
Classic staple from all of our childhood.
This was the best match of the night.
Everyone remember from this match? There's one thing. Jeff Hardy getting the world's biggest ladder, genuinely the world's biggest ladder, standing on top of it, posing, what a moment, and in his last hurrah, in his last dance, sacrificing himself for the industry, swanton bomb. What a way to go out. CM Punk goes on to win the match, breaking all of our hearts, but yo, it's a 5-star classic to me in every way.
Yes.
This to me would be on my list of 5-star matches.
Yes.
What these two men did, main eventing SummerSlam, carrying the company with the feud of the year, and then going out like this, it was generational. Someone on Cage Match said it perfectly. It is a timeless classic stunt match that gave their now fondly remembered and highly regarded feud a resounding no. What a match. Punk got the win, Jeff got cooked, but hey, at least he went out with this legendary moment, a moment that no one's ever gonna forget. 5-star classic in every way, and what really wrapped up this pay-per-view was The Undertaker return. Taker has had more returns in his career than Nick Cannon has kids, a lot of returns, okay? But this one has always been a special one for me just because of how nicely it was executed. The lights go out, lights come back, Jeff has been replaced with a dead man, and Undertaker's on the floor, he gets up, and listen, what an electric way to end the pay-per-view. And SummerSlam goes off the air with Taker back in the cut. Yo, this is such a great show, with a classic main event, a super fun ending. Despite the Punk and Taker feud being trash after this, as an event, this night had everything and had the perfect ending. But yeah, this show genuinely had everything, from an hot-ass opener to an absolute dud, to a fantastic tag match which had an all-time entrance, to a misunderstood classic, yeah, you heard me, a misunderstood classic, I'm joking, to a 5-star main event and an ending that leaves the crowd going home happy. I think you guys can see why I consider this SummerSlam a classic. I'm not saying this is the best SummerSlam ever, okay? It's definitely in the top 10 and maybe just outside of the top 5. I'm telling you, all you gotta do is just change your approach for that Cena and Orton match, just consider it a giant ass meme, turn your brain off, and it's a classic. But I genuinely laughed my ass off watching that match again. But yeah, 2009, what a weird year. This was definitely a 8 out of 10 show for me, a top 10 SummerSlam of all time, maybe a top 6, and maybe on a good day, might creep into my top 5. But I don't know, I love this show. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you made it all the way to the end here, I do want to say thank you for still rocking with me. I know I haven't uploaded in a few months, I know I've been MIA, life's been lifing, you know, life has been very interesting, but you know, we're out here, I'm doing my best, I'm working on myself, I'm taking care of myself, trying to get my life back in order, trying to just be the best Pav I can be and get my life back on track. So I just needed some time away to, you know, work on myself. But I'm back, I'm good, I'm in a good space, we're getting back on track, and I'm really glad you guys watched the video, and thank you for making it all the way to the end. You're a real one. I love you guys. Glad you guys.
Alrighty, that's just gonna about do it for this one, man. Most definitely. That Cena Orton match, I totally forgot about that match. That match was, I see why I forgot about that match. It's forgettable as fuck. Forgettable as fuck. There's nothing memorable about it. The only thing I remember was Ted DiBiase Jr. brother getting involved. That's crazy. But yeah, the DX Legacy match, that shit was fire. That's when I felt like Cody Rhodes needed to be taken a little bit more seriously. Then you got the Jeff Hardy CM Punk match. Fucking banger, bruh. I'm surprised there wasn't no Divas match on here. I could have sworn there was a Diva match on here, but I guess they was like, nah, fuck the Divas this year. That's fucked up. But anyways, so that's just gonna about do it for this one. Most definitely SummerSlam 2009. I ain't gonna call it a classic, but I say it was a good show. It's a good show. C plus, B minus show. B minus show. But other than that, though, it is what it is. Anyway, so that's just gonna about do it for this one. I'll see y'all in the next video. Till then, peace out.